Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today we're checking off an item that's been on our bucket list for the last couple of years. And that is we are at the Mobile Home and RV Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. We're actually standing here in front of this beautiful 1931 Ford house car. And we're going to show you a few of the ones that are here, but they go on and on forever. You have to come see this place to absolutely believe it. So come along with us.
Thanks.
Now this is what you see from the outside, and this is right along the interstate. They are a harvest host, so you do see some RVs parked around it with people staying there. And when you come in, they've got their little gift area. There's Christmas ornaments, there's all sorts of t-shirts and gifty type items. And you come into a small center area that kind of sets the stage for what you're going to see. In the upstairs is the Hall of Fame, and those are all people very influential in the industry. And this guy in particular we recognized.
Yes, we do.
You can also look down on the floor from up above, but the real fun starts down in the main area of the museum. Now this is the entrance into the museum, and the first thing that you see when you go through the door is this 1913 Earl travel trailer pulled by a Ford Model T. That's where it kind of all began.
Imagine that. Now this is a 1916 telescoping apartment. It sold for about $100.
This is like the first unit made with opposing slides. It's a cool concept, and you can kind of see how that evolved after many, many years. Now this is a 1958 22-foot Airstream trailer. And I thought this was interesting growing up near Jackson Center, which is kind of the home of Airstream. This was actually built in California. That's where the first of the Airstreams were built, was in California before they moved to Ohio.
It really looks like it set the stage for many years to come.
Absolutely.
Now this is the 1931 model Ford Model AA house car.
Love the seating there.
I did love that. They went all out.
Now some of these first ones, the older ones, were roped off, but we could put the camera inside and get you a better picture of it. This one's a 1950 Fleetwood Sporter. It was actually the first camper built by Fleetwood. Fleetwood's now part of the Rev Group, and the name has went on, but this is where they got their start.
Now we've got a 1954 Holiday Rambler travel trailer, and that's big.
Yeah. Now again, there's a name that's still with us today, Holiday Rambler, part of Rev Group, and not in travel trailers necessarily anymore, as they're into larger motorhomes and coaches.
That refrigerator was pretty cool looking.
And that bunk.
Yeah.
It's like a gurney. Next up, this is a Cerro Scotty 12-foot travel trailer. The doors in the back. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here again, this is one we couldn't go in, but
yeah,
you can see everything.
You can see it all, that's right. It reminds me of the truck campers. Now this is a 1964 Coachmen Cadet travel trailer.
It's one of the smaller ones like that also.
I do love these. They're great. Little corner sink.
And your dinette, that converts over into a bed, and kind of not a lot of headspace in that dinette, but then a bed above it.
Yeah.
And you can see how it's laid out with the road between them.
I love that, yeah.
This is a prototype of the Fleetwood Bounder. This is actually a 1985 model. They started producing them in 1987. And these were the first motorhomes built with what we now call a basement, with all the storage underneath. They've come a long way.
Yeah.
But this was the first coach that was really kind of designed for full-timers because it had storage.
And it was roomy.
Mm-hmm.
Little living room area. Now this is a 1967 fan luxury liner.
And these were very high-end in their time. I remember growing up, we were in a small town, but we had a RV dealer that carried fan, and they were quite something in their time.
The little scalloping on the woodwork there.
Mm-hmm. Lots of little extra details that way. That one even had a bunk. Now next up is a Coachmen Leprechaun. This is a Class C motorhome. If anybody out there watches Endless Adventure, this is what they renovated, was one of these older Leprechauns. And these were kind of ahead of their time as far as all the amenities that they had.
I love that backsplash.
Yeah.
And the fabrics. Now, if you watch KYD, this is the bird. It's a 1984 Bluebird Wanderlust.
Or Wonder Lodge.
Wander Lodge. There we go. Yeah.
And this is their actual bus. They have put it there in the museum. We got there, it had just been installed. In fact, the fellow out front hadn't even been back to see it yet. But this is exactly as you saw it in their videos. And even down to the little guy on the dashboard there. And if you look down at the pedals, they were always using a bungee cord to hold back on the accelerator. It's still there. This one had a bathtub in it too. It was, again, way ahead of its time. Now,
and they did some upgrades on this.
Yeah, they did a lot of upgrades in it. This has the 12-volt refrigerator they put in it. It also has back here under the one twin bed, it's got all of their battery controller and solar controller. Everything's still there. Now this is a 1931 house car. This was actually Mae West's. And
I just love this thing.
An oversized seat up front so you could sit with the driver, the dinette, the kitchen.
And my favorite part here is the little balcony on the back.
Yeah.
And this is a really cute one. We don't know what it is. It's an unknown rear slide, little furnishings.
It looks like it's doll furniture.
Yes,
almost
it was.
inside.
It looked like a dollhouse on the inside. You'd have to be on your knees to do anything in there. It did look like somebody fit that for their backyard for the kids to play in.
Now next up, this is a 1988 Star Streak 2. You can see little bits of Cadillac in the front end of it. It was built off of a 76 Eldorado chassis and a 76 Oldsmobile engine.
And
kind of futuristic.
Yes,
yeah.
It did. Now this is a 1986 Executive Diplomat Edition.
This is
And
high end.
This was nice, yes.
High end for 1986. Lots of wood. I mean, and it wasn't all the fakey wood like you find. This was a well-crafted
And I
piece.
think it had more mirrors in it than the older ones.
No, I love this. This is a 1937 Hunt house car. Notice the box there in that front window. We'll show you more of that. The kitchen is where the passenger seat normally is. And that box folds down in. That's your pantry.
I guess Mama sits in the back.
I guess. But I love the woodworking as it goes back to the back.
I do like the shape too. Now we've got a 1974 GMC motor house.
Now this GMC motorhome this was state of the art in its time. These were built off of a General Motors chassis. GM actually built these start to finish with an Oldsmobile front-wheel drive Tornado engine and drivetrain. Now next up, if you saw the front of that there, it said Country Air. That's a Newmar name, and this was actually donated by Virgil Miller of Newmar. This was built in the 1980s, and this was a Newmar travel trailer. I didn't know Newmar ever made travel trailers. I'd seen some fifth wheels from later on, but this was produced in the 80s, and this was actually Virgil Miller's own unit that was built for him, and he donated to the museum.
So this is one of my favorite. It's a 1954 Shasta travel trailer. I just love these little vintage ones.
You normally see the wings on the back of the Shastas, and this one didn't have it. It was before they'd started doing that. It was kind of caught
so
like
cute, yeah.
bunks again. Now this one, again, was a trendsetter. It's a 1969 Stites chassis mount truck camper. It's a truck camper, but it's actually mounted into the front end, the chassis of the truck. So you have the bunk over. This was where the idea of a Class C motorhome was born.
Now this is a 1968 Carriage travel trailer.
Carriage was always distinctive in their style too. They took this Carriage motif kind of one step beyond. And they were the first company to use a one-piece fiberglass front cap and rear cap. There you'll see the front cap all fiberglass, and the carriage lamps, and even the lantern on the side. Yeah. Now this is a 1967 Winnebago. I remember these with the little short hood in the front, a little short tail on the back. These, again, were kind of the trendsetter. They kind of brought motorhoming to the general public.
I actually had friends who had one of those. It was so fun.
Lots of sleeping space.
Yeah.
Now, outside of the museum, you go into the area with their new RV discoveries. And this is an area that changes constantly. But you may have seen this Furrion. It's been videoed and it's been on display. It has all of the latest that Furrion offers. They actually built this to showcase their full-size residential dishwasher, their oversized video screens, inside and out. It has a staircase lit up that goes up to a port on the roof. And why would you want to do that? So you got a place to land your helicopter.
That's right.
It's probably a little more over the top than what most of us RVers would want to go for.
Well, I'd go for it.
Mm-hmm. But it's quite impressive. The big outdoor screen there on the back end of it.
The jacuzzi.
This was also in that section. This is a new Shasta travel trailer built to look like the old ones, but with all of the modern amenities in it.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was really a cool idea. They also have in here a scale model of what it looks like in an RV manufacturing facilities. And you'll see it starts in with frames. The next section, they start to put the sidewalls up. Then the roofs go on. It goes through the entire process across there in a scale model. So you can see how these are actually built. This was a cool display. This was a Fort Wayne gentleman's actual personal collection that's on display here of all of his toy RVs. Now that was one of the first Onan generators made for RVs, and this is a cutaway of what the Cummins diesel engine looks like. This is just about to open. It's opening this summer, and this is their mobile home, the MH part of the equation, museum that's going to be opening soon. So you'll want to stop back and see it. Well, Cathy, did you see any you want to trade yours for?
I did, but you probably wouldn't.
You're right, I probably wouldn't. We want to thank you all for joining us today. If you get a chance, come up here. It's right off the Interstate 8090 toll road in Elkhart, Indiana. It's a must-see. It's absolutely great. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so and ring that notification bell. That way you'll know when all of our additional videos this summer have come out. And if you liked the video today, leave us a thumbs up. We sure do appreciate it.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.